Hello, people. What's up? What's up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining Atieno Reviews. I'm so excited you're back to watch my video. I really don't take that for granted. And I am again so sorry I took so long before I finished my pregnancy and delivery story. So today I'm going to be doing the part of my delivery. I've been up and down. I'm handling a lot of things right now, so sometimes sitting down to record is a problem. And I've also tried to record this video almost 3 times, and I hope I'm doing this for the last time. So now, from my story, if you have not watched my previous pregnancy story, I don't know why I'm rambling. If you have not watched my previous pregnancy story, please just go to my videos and you're going to see my part 1 and part 2 of pregnancy story. So today I'm telling you about my delivery, actually in the delivery room, what really happened. From my previous part 2 delivery story, I have mentioned that I was overweight. I ate too much. I can ascertain because I know my eating habits, and it increased. In the people who kept on telling me, more especially the elderly, like my mother, were like, you really have to eat. And also, I just intentionally will feed my appetite all the time. So, because I will do a lot of exercises, and my weight added from it was about 55 to about 83, actually 80 plus uh, kilograms. So I was overweight. So now I had developed blood pressure. Blood pressure. It is called preeclampsia in pregnancy. So by the time I was going to the hospital, I had a mild headache, and I just went to the hospital to confirm and to rule out any benefit of doubt. So now I went to the hospital. I was told, because of that continuous headache, please go to the maternity wing. And I was like, maternity wing? Me? I'm not yet. It was about, I was just stepping to my 8th month in pregnancy. And of course, I knew that you have to be pregnant for about 9 months, and then is when you're supposed to feel the labor pain before you go directly to, or you're taken to the hospital. That is the mentality that I had. Being a first-time mother, that is what I was expecting. But now when I went and I'm told to go to the maternity wing, well, I was shocked because that is not what I expected. So, okay, of course, I went to the maternity wing in the hospital. And when I reached there, I told the doctors what I was feeling. I told the nurse at the triage what I was feeling, and she was like, your pressure is so bad. They measured my pressure, and it was reading almost 190 something over 120 something plus going on. They said that was so bad, and they termed it borderline. They kept on saying your pressure is at borderline. How are you feeling? I was just feeling the headache, and they could not really understand how I could just feel that way, because they were saying that was so bad and so terrible. So then I was told I have to be admitted, and I have to be taken I have to be induced. So that is where I left the story. Now, I was induced in the morning. When I was admitted, I was induced. There's this tablet, the insertion. There's this tablet that they used to insert. They insert it down there. I hope there's no kid watching this video. So they insert it, and the whole night I slept so well. It was just like the normal cramping when you're on your periods. Sorry, I'm just trying to put my camera properly. I think that is better. So it was like the normal cramping when you're on your PMS. So I was fine. Then when it came in the morning, the second dose was administered. That is when the drama started. It started escalating. Like, the pain started becoming too much with time. It was administered by around 6-7. Then at around Sambili, 8 in the morning, it was bad. I was actually not paining, the cramping. Oh, let me use the better word. The labor pain was intense. I remember I wanted to walk. I never wanted to stop, and I didn't want to get into my room. The moment I will step into my room or my ward, I will feel the pain tripled. I don't know why that happened, and I don't know if it happens to anyone else or only me. So it tripled, and I kept on walking. What I wanted so much when I was laboring, I wanted to climb a tree. I had a lot of energy, I'm telling you. I wanted to climb a tree or maybe stairs. And I remember walking with my husband, and all I was looking for is stairs. And the nurses kept on discouraging us, no, you that I should not go to the stairs because it's closed, and should anything happen, we may scream or talk, and maybe they will not hear. So they encouraged a lot of walking along the corridors. Long story short, time came. It was around 11:30, and I was at stage 3 of laboring. Before I got to stage 3, my laboring was characterized by a lot of pain in the lower abdomen, and also vomiting, back pain, a lot of energy. I could not talk. I was not talking. I kept on talking to my husband using sign languages. I will tell him, go. So at around 11ish, my water broke, and I told my husband, can you go call the doctor? And he ran and called the nurse who was in charge of me. And when the nurse came, the nurse told me, oh, now I think we're ready. We have to move to the delivery room. I was wheeled to the delivery room. And when I reached them, they told me to sit on the bed. The bed was a bit raised. I didn't expect. Actually, I'm telling you, no judgment anyway. If you judge me, it's okay. I'm just telling you my experience. I had no idea how delivery rooms looks like. I didn't know it was that raised bed. I think it's raised because for them to be able to manage you properly, because when you're in a raised place, they can see you and they're able to concentrate on what they're managing. And you're able to open it, you're able to open it without hiding so that they can pull out the baby. So that is, I was like, me, do you want me to panda that thing? And when the nurse told me, by the way, you have to be there because we are running out of time and the baby has to come out. When the last contraction came, I don't even remember how I jumped on the bed from the floor. Choop! I was on the bed already. Yes, with the help of a stool, I sat on the bed, and they told me, okay, now sit properly because it's now time to deliver. And she introduces herself. She tells you what she expects of you and what you should expect of her. So she told me, from me, what they expected is cooperation, maximum cooperation. They told me, you're not just going to push anyhowly. You're going to be told when to push and when to stop. And remember, ladies, this is very important. You have to know when to push. When they tell you to push, push. When they tell you to relax, relax, because they always work with the contraction in your stomach and they see how the baby moves. So if you just keep on pushing, they told me the baby might just push out and you might break into pieces. Unaweza funguka like anyhowly. So they will coordinate with you so that there's no much tear. So that is what happened. So the problem there's a problem. There are problems set in when I started pushing. My pressure shot so bad, I could not push anymore. They told me to push. I lacked the energy to even push the baby out. I tried to look for even the energy. The normal energy you use when you're going to the toilet. I couldn't get that. So I tried so much, and the baby could not come out. Yes, they could see the baby's head, but the baby could not come out. And that is when I was told the baby was locked. Like, the baby was locked in between my pelvic bone. Like on this picture, as you can see, the baby is locked in between the pelvic bone. And the baby could not come out no matter how hard I tried. So they had to work so many ways to bring out the baby. Like you see on this picture, the doctor or the nurse is trying to maneuver the baby by inserting his hand or her hand, and the hands are inserted and they're able to turn the baby's head together with the shoulder so that the baby can come out. So that is actually what happened to me. They tried with their hand and eventually they had to use the vacuum extractor. The vacuum extractor is a tool that they use to pull the baby out. So the baby was pulled after the manipulation of the shoulder and the head to come out, which was in vain. And eventually, when they used the vacuum extractor, the baby came out. Now, there are things that really happened, and actually, from my experience, I learned that there are accidents that normally happen when you go to deliver. I will cover that. There are so many accidents that happen, or babies will have condition as a result of difficulty in birth. So, in my situation, as a result of manipulating the baby to be out of my pelvic bone, my baby's nerves to the hands were injured. These are the nerves that move from the hand and they go directly to the back of your spine, actually to your spine. So these muscles are called brachial plexus. These muscles were injured, and these muscles are so important because when they were injured, my baby's hand could not move. My baby's hand stayed close to his body and it could not move. This is a condition that we've been fighting for some time. Yes, it can be managed. Can it be treated? Yes and no. The yes part is they can manage it. Actually, some condition, sometimes they can take you to operation and it is healed. Sometime it is just managed by physiotherapy and the baby is healed. And no, in such a way that yes, of course, the baby will be physiotherapy will be taken, or surgery can be taken, but the symptoms can never 100% go away. As much as you'll go for surgery, you'll still need physiotherapy to put the hands to the normal functioning. So my baby's hand was injured, and as a result, my baby has brachial plexus. Thanks God it was on the left hand. Oh, left hand is this one. So he doesn't use it most of the time, but we are trying so much to make him use this hand. And we are still going for physiotherapy. It is not easy. This is the third year. It has not been easy financially, emotionally. When I was giving birth, you know, the normal expectation of you, who you'll give birth to your baby and you'll hold your baby. This does not happen. So after the baby came out, the baby did not cry. So when the baby did not cry, the nurses came in, and I think I passed out on the bed because I just saw the nurses coming. And when the nurses came, there was pediatrician, there were so many uniforms which represented different departments, so they tried to make the baby cry, tapping, putting him upside down, so many things. And eventually I saw the baby being wrapped in a certain green material and put on the table, and they left the room except were they two nurses? Where? And in my mind, I could see, and I was like, that is my baby gone. And I imagined I was shouting while I was praying. I was like, Jesus, you cannot do this to me. Oh God, I've carried this baby for all this time. Then I'm coming to the hospital and I have to go back alone. Lord, you're not doing this to me. Kindly give me my baby. And I kept on asking God to give me my baby. I prayed so hard. I prayed. And while I was praying, I actually used an example of a friend of ours, a very close friend of ours, had delivered, and they had the most difficult birth. Actually, the baby was preterm when born, and the baby became right now the baby is healed. The mother also was in a very critical condition and they were healed. And I was telling God, if you could heal mama so and so together with the baby, what is barring you from healing my baby? I kept on claiming his promises upon my life. And eventually I had, while I was going, I just had uh my baby cough, and the doctors rushed the baby to ICU. He actually stayed there for 1.5 weeks. Then when I was still praying and crying because they left me all alone, my husband together with the nurses rushed to the ICU, and I was there feeling so horrible. Of course, the nurses had cleaned me up, and I was feeling so bad, so horrible. I was stuck on my bed. I could not follow my baby and know exactly what was happening. I was fearful as much as I was praying, but there was just something rolling on my mind. Like, what if he dies? What is going to happen? It was a very emotional time for me, and thank God, guys, God always send people at the right time. Actually, that is why it said he is never late. While I was praying and proclaiming God's promises on the bed, imagine the mother of the child that I was talking to God about just appeared in my room. That is the wonder of God. Actually, she just came to the delivery room. Hey, the joy that filled my heart. I remember I cried. I cried on her shoulder. And thank you so much, Alice. You gave me a shoulder to lean on. Aki, I cried so much. And she was like, it's okay. She prayed with me and she was like, it's okay, it will be fine, and she normally has this tender voice that when she's talking to you, you feel like, oh, then this is final, it is just final judgment. And when she told me it is fine and we prayed and I remained calm, she took, together with the nurses, she escorted me to the maternity ward and I lied there. I can tell you for sure, guys, that that was not the best experience in my life because I kept on fearing all the time. And I knew that maybe at some point I'm going to lose my baby because he stayed in the ICU for about 1.5 weeks. And anytime I would go, I went to see my baby actually after the first 2 nights, after the 2 nights, because anytime I would think of going to see my baby, I will always, the pressure will shoot, and the nurses will tell me, no, Lydia, you can't go. Ah, it is a quite emotional story. I had never shared this before. I always just say part of it, but not the whole story. So now, when the baby was taken to ICU, I went to see the baby on the second night after admission, and that was the first time I was seeing my baby. And I kept on thinking, will he make it? Because anytime I would go, sometimes you'll find that his dependency on oxygen would be 50%, which is encouraging. When you come back in the evening, it is short, it shoots to 80%, like he's depending on supported oxygen or 80% of his breathing. You know what that means. So at that point, I'm telling you, I stopped praying. As much as I had hope, but I could not even find words to speak to God. And I thank God for friends and family who kept on praying for me. Our family, from my side and my husband's side, really stood in for us because they really prayed for us. And our friends, our close friends were very, very supportive. Actually, we had bad friends from visiting because I didn't know what to tell people. I didn't know what to tell you when you came to visit. Actually, for only those who understand and my husband will tell them the story, they will come in. And I'm so sorry for maybe those who are affected. I didn't allow people to visit me in hospital because I couldn't handle it myself and my pressure could not stop fluctuating. So anytime you'll visit, we make stories, we laugh. When you leave, I'm dying. So that is why it was done. And again, I didn't want to explain a lot of things. So we agreed with my husband that we are not allowing all people, only very close friends. So that is it. Actually, the baby, after 1.5 weeks, the baby was discharged and we came home and we started a long journey of taking the baby to physiotherapy. I actually forgot about myself. And as during delivery, I also underwent episiotomy, the cutting. If you've heard of the cutting, there's a way they also try to cut you so that they're able to open the way for the baby to come out. So they tried that, and that is why the baby came out together with vacuum extraction. So now, immediately I went home. I started another journey of taking the baby to physiotherapy. It has been actually a very hard journey for me, both emotionally, financially, and sometimes it's so draining. And as a result of that, I drowned to depression. Actually, I was depressed for quite some time. Maybe that's a story for another day. But for the support I got from you friends, for the prayers, for everything, wow, I can't always thank you enough. For the closeness that you're there for me, it is something that I cannot pay you, but only God will. So, lessons that I drew from my delivery is one, giving birth is not normal. Like, it is God. It's not like you just go to the normal way, go to the toilet and you boom, you're done and you're out. Mm-mm. Things can happen. And submit yourself. When you're going for delivery, just tell God, God, I'm going. Bring out this being that you put in me in a safe way. And let us all be separated properly and safely like you wanted it. And also another thing is cooperate with the nurses. Cooperate with the nurses, because it's so important. When they tell you to do something, kindly do it. If they told you you wanted a normal delivery and they told you no, it is not going to be possible, you have to go for CS, please go. You're not any lesser woman when you give birth through CS. You're not any lesser, because I can tell you for sure I've experienced both normal and CS delivery. Actually, delivery is more painful than normal, because normal you labor, yes, and you will heal completely. For CS, it's a scar that is with you and some pain that will never go away. So this video is going to be a bit long, so I have to cut it here and tell you, please put your faith to God. And also when you're going to deliver, just tell him to take charge, to take control, because there is nothing you can do. And it reaches a point when there is nothing, even what the doctor, nothing that the doctors can do. It is only him that gives them the wisdom, the mind, and the ideas on how they are going to save your lives. So that is my delivery story. If you learned something, if you wish someone to hear this and maybe learn one or two things from a video, kindly give this video a thumbs up. Just down here, just click the like button and leave me a comment. What do you think? What was your experience? And stay tuned for my other videos. Cheers.